Okay, moving on to my just plain scary start, a scary bad start. And to sort of wrap up the programming for this episode, I'm going to go with Ilya Samsonov in Toronto. It's a pretty obvious one. The last game he played, he allowed 3 goals on 4 shots, which honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen before. That was incredible in a bad way, in a scary way, we'll say. So he's allowed 14 goals in just 4 games played. He has a 4.35 goals against average and an .831 save percentage. He's dead last in the NHL right now in terms of goals saved above expected. And the thing is, we know that Samsonov isn't a starting goalie among like the best starting goalies in the league, I'll say. But he is a starting goalie in a tandem situation. And right now, I think that's what's coming through. And we're seeing sort of his true colors that, you know, he's going to have to rely on a backup like Joseph Woll to come in and sort of split the games in a bit of a platoon situation. So Ilya Samsonov, some tough numbers to start the season. That's a scary, bad start, if you ask me.
Yeah, that was scary on Saturday night. I had the game on in the background and I had to do a double look when I saw the goals were 3 and the shots were 4 as Samsonov was skating out of the net. That was a tough look, but he has struggled all year so far. And I think that was always going to be a question mark going into the season for anyone looking at the Leafs is like, is he going to be the starting goaltender, especially when they don't really have the like solidified backup? I hope that this isn't the answer to that question so far and that this is just a slow start. But I mean, the team hasn't been terrible on defense. So it's really just not a good look, and hopefully he'll be able to turn it around for you Leafs cult members.
Yeah, I actually looked into that as well because I was wondering if it was the defense that had been really bad, but I forget. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but it's almost identical in terms of per 60 expected goals against last year versus this year, even though it's they've only played 5 games. So it's been about the same team defensively so far. Sammy just hasn't been able to make big saves at key moments. And, you know, going back to that Tampa Bay game, people said, like, I saw some comments, people saying that he got cooched on, which I thought was hilarious, by the way. Like, just a funny way to say that. But Kucherov was really, really good. And he was able to make plays to make Sammy look silly on the power play. And even though that was the case, and Sheldon Keefe sort of alluded to this in his post-game comments, you need a save at some points. Like, sometimes you just need it. And maybe that's not fair to the goalie, but when Freddie Anderson was in Toronto, that was a big point of contention amongst people who loved and hated Freddie Anderson. You know, the people who loved him would say, listen, he's getting unlucky. What do you expect him to do there? And the people who, you know, just wanted their goalie to perform would say, well, listen, like, he's a goalie. He needs to make a save. If he's really that good, he needs to make a save at a key opportunity. And that's exactly what Joseph Woll did when he came into that game. Cold, mind you, made all the big saves at all the right times and won the game in overtime for the Leafs. So that's, I think, a bright spot for Toronto, having him now. But I don't think it's really a solution. You know, like, the guy's played 13 games in his entire NHL career. Mind you, he has pretty good numbers in those 13 games, but it's a really small sample size. So we'll see going forward what exactly happens. But I don't think anyone's arguing with the fact that Ilya Samsonov has had a really tough start to the season.